I picked this guy out of a bargain bin in the legendary toy shop Mandarake in Tokyo. I had no idea who he was, but his design really jumped out and caught my eye. He's half organic, half robotic, and fully dope. In Japan, the toy shops are full of colourful vinyl kaiju figures like this. Kaiju means strange beast in Japanese, and it's a term used to describe the giant monsters like Godzilla that regularly do battle in films from the region. There are thousands of kaiju, and loads of them are really cool. Check out SLIMEHOUSE TV's Tokyo toy hunting videos for much more amazing footage like this. I only had limited space in my suitcase though, and this guy was the winner. All I knew was that he was made by Bandai in 1995. I paid 100 yen for him. At the time, that was about 50p. So, who is this guy? I eventually discovered that he was called Bios, and he came from the Ultraman universe. He turns up in an episode called the Biospherians in a 1992 TV series called Ultraman Towards the Future, or Ultraman Great as it's known in Japan. Now, I didn't know anything about Ultraman other than the fact it was Japanese, so it came as a bit of a surprise when I discovered that this particular series was made in Australia. It's completely over the top, terrible, hilarious, camp, cheesy and fantastic. This episode is based at a place called Southern University, who have started an impressive Eden Project style biosphere, full of unusual plants and strange looking research assistants. Despite the fact a man was consumed, the lunatic professor claims these sentient plants are the future. Human form Ultraman manages to psychically communicate with the plant's conscious mind and discovers it's actually an alien life form with plans on world domination. After the professor gets pied off by the plant computer, she shoots it in a rage. This turns out to not have been the wisest decision, as the reaction causes the plants to mutate into a humongous, badass cyber plant monster. The only way to stop this foliage-fused freak from taking over the world is for Ultraman to kick his ass. For me, the figure is an excellent representation of the on-screen monster, with all the details looking pretty much spot on. The sculpt is really cool. The little details and textures help show off that awesome contrast between the biological elements and the mechanical parts. The paint job is nice too. He's got these sprayed on highlights with gold and blue sections, which work well to give him a bit of depth. All in all, he's a really cool figure.
Words from the West.
Crap.
Each to their own. Did you know Bios could have turned out quite differently, however? I spoke to Norman Yeend, a model maker based in Sydney, Australia, who worked on the series back in 1992. According to Norman, the series was originally going to be made with puppets rather than men in suits, and he was employed to create some of the models. He shared with me the original design for Bios, who was first known by the catchy name Computer Plant Monster, and as you can see, the original concept was quite different. This awesome design by Joe Yoshida shows another type of monster. But I've got to admit, it's not immediately obvious how it would move. Norman only got as far as sculpting the tentacles for the Bios puppet. He didn't even get to mould or cast them, because at that stage everything was packed up and shipped off to South Australia for the live action shoot. Ultimately, it was decided that the puppet look wasn't what they were after, so they went back to men in suits, and the Bios puppet was left unfinished. So, from cluelessly picking this guy out of a bargain bin, I now know a lot more about him, and hopefully you do too. I really like this figure. He's weird, he's eye-catching, and he'll give you a mean slap if you mess with him. thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do let me know. While you're here, why not subscribe and check out some of my other videos too.